Hello friends, welcome to Mango County Overseas. In the first part of this video, we discussed the basic background about your move to Canada, the whys and the why nots. If you haven't watched the first part yet, then the link is in the description box. Please watch that video before watching this one. As we concluded in the first part, that we shouldn't just get carried away. Let us now discuss some of the challenges faced by a new immigrant. There will be some short-term challenges and then there will be some long-term. Let us talk about your initial days. When you first move there, whether alone or with family, the first thing that is on your mind is the place to stay. There are many options. If you are young and alone, then you may try to find a sharing apartment. Since a lot of Indians have already migrated there, most probably you will try to find Indian roommates. If you are with family, then you may try to find an individual house. In cities, those will be multi-storied apartments, and outside of cities, those will be landed properties. Mind you, rents are very high in Canada. Don't get surprised by the high figures. Let us not kid ourselves. By now, we all know that house rents in developed countries are proportionate to the income level there. One more option is that you can choose to occupy basements of a family house. Many houses in Canada have a basement, and many homeowners choose to sublet the basement place. This will definitely be cheaper than renting an individual house. Next will be the commuting and transport part. Though big cities have public transport, it is limited to a very small area when compared to the overall size of Canada. You will have to at some point own a car. The sooner it is, the better it is. This strictly applies to you if you are living away from cities and you have your family with you. Owning a car in Canada could be a whole big topic for discussion. Let us not get into it at this moment. Then there will be the credit history challenge. A lot of young Indians are unaware of what this is, simply because they don't encounter any such thing while they are going about their routine business in India. Though it won't hurt you in a big way, it is always good to know about it. Thankfully, being a nation of immigrants, many financial institutions in Canada know about the absence of credit history of a new immigrant, and they have many programs or schemes to tackle it. These, we can say, were some of the initial or short-term challenges. Of course, there could be many more, but those are individual specific. Then there are some long-term challenges. See, the point here is not to discourage you. You have to know the reality and be prepared accordingly. Unwanted surprises might dampen your plans for a quality life. If you plan properly, you will surely be proud of yourself later on. So what are those long-term challenges? Let us look at them one by one. Population density, or should we say scarcity? Look at this map of Canada. It's a huge landmass. But do you know that almost 70% of the population lives down south? Particularly this area here, near Toronto, is very highly populated. And this state, Ontario, is the most populated province of Canada. What does this mean to you? There is high likelihood that you will also end up somewhere in this area. Now some might like that because you will have people around you who have similar backgrounds. But then some might think, oh, so there will be newcomers just like me and we all will vie for same jobs and houses. It all depends on how you are as an individual. Weather. This one is going to be always there. No matter how long you live in Canada, the weather will always remind you that chill, you are in Canada. If you are never lived in a cold country before moving to Canada, then you are in for a whole lot of exciting experiences. As an Indian who has lived in India through formative years, Canada's winter will freeze you and everything that belongs to you. Canada is as cold as it can get. Snow looks fascinating in Indian movies, but to actually live in those conditions is a different experience altogether. There are some parts of Canada which are cold, and then there are some which are even colder. Try to enjoy. Communication. Telecom and internet services in Canada are expensive, very expensive. The rates are among the highest in the world. So if you are used to cheap data and broadband plans in India, you will find it hard to believe the rates there. Housing. In the last video, we discussed the housing types in Canada. Housing is in general on the expensive side. Just like any other big city in the world, housing in big cities in Canada is very expensive. People try to buy a house in suburban areas or on the outskirts of those big cities. Though housing is expensive, that doesn't mean you will never buy a house. Millions of residents are living in their own houses and so will you. You just need proper planning for that. Jobs. This one is interesting. As a new immigrant, you will sometimes complain that why the Canadian companies prefer Canadian experience. Canada has a labor shortage in all fields. Otherwise, Canadian governments wouldn't invite immigrants so happily. But you will have to keep some patience before you reap the fruits of your hard work. After the initial hiccups, you too will get that precious Canadian work experience. And as you climb up the ladder, you will love the professional work environment there. So, these were some of the long term challenges. See, all the opportunities and challenges are relative. It depends on how you as an individual look at those things. You can overcome the hurdles if you are prepared for it. Planning will help you. One major mistake that a prospective immigrant does is not to seek professional help. We always insist that choose your country wisely when it comes to immigration. People will spend lavishly on random things in life, but they will not attend seminars arranged by professional service providers. Since everything is available online for free, why spend money, right? You have to be serious in your efforts. Immigration is not something you will do often. You can have a look at this video planning to move abroad for the start. There are plenty of things to think about and know about. Go to a good immigration consultant. Discuss. Not everyone is a scammer. And you are not bound to start the immigration process the next day. It is just a discussion. You can start your process whenever you are ready. At least discuss about your background and future plans. We provide online quick counseling to assess your plans. It costs just Rs 299 for a discussion of up to 45 minutes. We could have kept it for free, but then how do we isolate genuine candidates? We keep getting a lot of queries, but such random one line questions will not shape up your future. Note down your questions and discuss with a professional. Again, you can go to any consultant, not just us, but seek some help before you decide on anything. So, bye for now. Do like, subscribe, and share.